Abu Muhammad al-Hasan ibn Amr al-Hamaway bin Haram bin Hamaway al-Nujirmi narrated to me in Basra, saying, I was in al-Mansura in the year 288 Hijri, and one of the mashayikh of the city, who could be trusted, had narrated to me that King Dhara, who was known as Mahruq bin Ra'iq, he was the greatest king of the lands of India and its surrounding areas between Upper and Lower Kashmir, had written to the governor of al-Mansura, Abdullah ibn Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, in the year 270 Hijri, that he explained the legislation of Islam in the Indian language. Abdullah had summoned a man who had lived in al-Mansura, but he was originally from Iraq, and he had a clear and sound intellect. And he was also a poet that was raised in India, so he knew their various languages. He informed him about what the king, Dhara, had asked. So he wrote a poem mentioning what was requested of him, and he sent it. When it was read to the king, Dhara, he liked it and wrote to Abdullah asking him to send him the author of the poem, and so he sent him. He stayed with him for about 3 years, and then he returned. Abdullah asked about the king, Dhara, so he explained the details and told him that when he had left him, he had accepted Islam in his heart and on his tongue, although he was not able to openly practice Islam out of fear of damaging his position and losing his royal authority. From what he narrated was that the king had asked him to explain the Quran in the Indian language, and so he explained it to him. He said, so I stopped in the tafsir of Surah Yasin and explained the statement of Allah Azza wa Jal.
قال من يحيي العظام وهي رميم قل يحييها الذي أنشأها أول مرة وهو بكل خلق عليم. Meaning, he says, who will give life to these bones after they are rotten and have become dust? Say, O Muhammad, the one who will give them life is the one who created them the first time, and he is the all-knower of every creation.
When I explained that to him, he was sitting on a throne made of gold and encrusted with jewels and pearls, the likes of which no one knows its value. He said to me, repeat. So I repeated it. He had come down from his throne, walked on the ground that had been muddied from the water, and he placed his cheek on the ground, crying until his face was dirty with mud. Then he said to me regarding this verse, this is the Lord, the one who is worshipped, the first, al-Qadim, that nothing, not a soul compares to him. He had a house built, wherein he secluded himself, and he would pray there in secret, where no one could see him.
The story of the Kashmiri king that secretly accepted Islam is probably one of the most memorable narratives in this book. The orientalists that translated this work into French and English had noted that the Indian king was king of Ra. However, that's incorrect, as Ra is probably Arabized from Raja and is the local word for king, like Caesar of Rome or Kisra of Persia. Details of this king are not provided in the book. Whether he was from the Karkota or Uptala dynasty or which particular king he was, we don't really know. It's likely that it may not have been the king of one of the major Kashmiri dynasties, although the indication was that the king had hidden his acceptance of Islam from the people and his family to maintain his rule, so we would probably never really know. The Muslim governors and leaders gave importance to sending qualified and wise people to explain Islam in the languages of those people. It is also interesting to note how poetry was used to eloquently explain the beliefs of Islam, a practice that is still commonly used today.